Yep.
Holy shit. So
Yeah,
that's-
it's a 3.5 gram Delta 8 rose petal blunt.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I would get so fucking annihilated. Like,
Yeah.
like 3.5 grams. Like, give me like one fucking hit, dude. I'm gonna be vapor locked to a fucking couch for like 2 days.
Yep.
Like, holy shit, dude. Oh, ETS can't come fast enough. Oh boy, where's my D214? Ooh wee.
Oh man,
Right around the corner.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode, and we're here with Blaze Online, the one and only. So, what's going on, guys? How we usually go off by the thing. How was your week? Start with the guest. First off, introduce yourselves.
All right. Well, my name is John, co-owner of Blaze Online. So my week's been going pretty well so far. Can't complain.
Stuff.
And I'm Alex, co-owner of Blaze Online as well. And yeah, the week's been rocky, but you persevere and drive on, right?
Absolutely. Spoken like a true veteran there. It's like everything sucks. My personal life is a dumpster fire right now, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna keep going,
Yeah.
Which incidentally enough is pretty much how my week went. So but I do have tomorrow off, and next week I'll be graduating yet another class and round of junior enlisted future NCOs in the Army. So, oh boy,
nice.
Yeah. So fun times there. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
A great teacher. A man full of knowledge.
You know what the old saying is, right, John? Those who can do, and those who can't teach. So I don't know if teaching is the best career field, right?
Yeah, the only thing I really got going this week was I downloaded Red Dead Redemption Online, and I'm a little.
How is it? Did you play the online, or is it? How is it?
Oh, it's fun, man. And I'm sorry because I know you and Chance were talking about DayZ. DayZ's fun. I'm a little busy right now, though. I'm just a little busy.
Got you. I got you. It ain't for everybody, right? I got you.
How was your week, guys?
I just started getting back into No Man's Sky. You guys played that game?
Oh
Perfect.
man.
Got back into it. Nice.
Yeah, I started getting back into it. I started a whole new campaign for myself, but the game is so different. I mean, it's way better than when it came out. There's so much more things to do. I've just been exploring the galaxy. I just went through a black hole today. That was pretty awesome.
So, what console are you on,
I have a PS4.
Alex?
Yeah, PS4. Of course. I mean, I used to have a PC, but Johnny has a PC for some of the gaming though.
Yeah, I do have a PC as well. It depends on what game I'm playing as to what I will play on. I play Rocket League a lot on PC and Rogue Company a lot on PC.
Her Rogue Company is very fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Now, Rocket League. I love a good old game of car soccer, man. I can't lie,
Yeah.
The interesting thing about that game is it's so toxic.
It can be very toxic. It absolutely can be very toxic. If you get lucky I found a few lobbies here and there. You play with the chillest dudes ever. I mean, sometimes you just hop into a lobby and get lucky, and then everybody in the party, I play a lot of casual. Competitive can get a little toxic.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the rank to go up and stuff. Casual is a little bit more chill, and sometimes, I'll play 10, 15, 20 games all with the same dudes, just chatting in between goals and stuff like that. I mean, not always toxic. It's just,
You gotta
I
find
guess
the right group, yeah.
Kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like
It also depends on kind of what rank you're at. Some ranks tend to be more toxic than others.
Interesting. That's interesting because like playing a game like Call of Duty, it's just like they're either toxic or they're not. You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter how good or bad they are. If they're shitty individuals, they're just going to be shitty individuals. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that a rank would play into it in that game. That's kind of funny.
Now both of you guys are PlayStation guys. I hear. So, and what's interesting, Jay just transitioned over. He dabbles a little bit with both, but when we talk about PlayStation, the conversation is always exclusives. So were there any exclusive PlayStation games that you played and enjoyed that you were like, yeah, we got this?
The
is
Ratchet and
ours?
Clank series, hands down.
Say it again. Which
The
one?
Ratchet and Clank series.
That's classic.
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
a classic one.
And they're supposed to be
not
coming
know
out with
that.
a new one on the PS5 pretty soon here.
Yeah,
not
I
surprised.
actually heard about that. Jay, I'm shocked.
I've never heard of that. Like, I don't even know what that is.
You probably
Like-
you probably just missed that.
All right.
That era.
Yeah. One
Well,
of
it's
my
like,
favorite
did you
game series of all
So
time.
I love Horizon. Like, that game is
Okay.
probably out as the best exclusive in a while for PlayStation.
I just recently got off of Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I fucking loved that game. Like, that was an amazing game.
Yeah.
Like, and that was, of course, that was an exclusive. That was probably, along with God of War, that was probably the only PlayStation exclusives I've ever played. Was God of War and then Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah, I got lucky with those two.
That's great.
Yeah, God of War was a phenomenal game. The newest one
fuck.
that came out was great.
I think you get to play all of them. Wow.
I feel so left
Yeah.
out. I feel so left
Right,
out.
not every play God of War or what?
I
But
haven't played God of War in years, like years. I haven't touched the PlayStation, and I think the last PlayStation I had was a 3, to be honest with you. And then I made the switch, and I'm on PC now, which I'm enjoying a lot. I switch over from the Xbox and the PC, but both are fun, both are very fun. Now, Alex and Jay, you guys have something in common. A major news article came out recently with Kandahar, right? Kandahar Airfield.
Kandahar Airfield, yeah, we call it CAF. We call it CAF, but yeah, Kandahar Airfield was at one point in the Afghanistan war was probably the largest operating base in Afghanistan. Like, there was easily 30 or 40,000 plus people in this one area outside of Kandahar city. At this, it was a major fucking base. Like, and when I say major, I mean, like, you couldn't walk like 2 feet without seeing like 15,000 people. Like, it was busy. It was like a small city basically.
It was like the section for deployment, for real.
Yeah. So like, you basically, if you were going anywhere in the north or the west of Afghanistan, you would fly into Kandahar Airfield to then fly to wherever your next place was basically. And so a lot of people came through there. A lot of people were stationed there. My second deployment, I stayed there. Like, that was where we were stationed. We were at Kandahar Airfield for 9 months. So in addition to being there, flying through, I was also there for an entire deployment. So, what were you gonna say, Alex?
I just said screw that, man. 9 months in CAF.
Yeah.
3 months going through there, getting trained to do my job with. We were like with, I think it was the Screaming Eagles.
Okay.
We were the ones that we were the ones replacing them, and they were left seat, right seating us. And 3 months doing that, it was just like our barracks were on the other side of CAF, like a mile and a half away. So we had to walk that every morning to go to work and do your job. And then the moon dust. Do you remember the moon dust?
Oh yeah.
God, that stuff.
Did you ever get to fly? Like, did you ever get to like take a tour of like the area?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I didn't get to do that till my second deployment, so obviously the things were a little bit different. But the area outside of Kandahar Airfield is actually quite pretty, depending on I guess your view of the world, right? But that's like, it's very beautiful out there, and
dude, Afghanistan itself is beautiful.
It really is.
People are just are at war all the time.
Right. It's very unfortunate for that country.
The green zones, which will kill you. You always, never go into the green. But the green zones, they're beautiful. They're forests. They're tropical forests on the side of a mountain with a waterfall and a lake going through it, and then a town on the side of it. But that town is corrupt. No, not necessarily corrupt, but strong-armed by, bad guys.
Yeah, warlords or Taliban, right? So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a shame because it is a beautiful country, man.
Yeah.
Like, not a real big piece of shit. It really isn't.
Yeah, if they had a more stable government and populace, it could be a great country. Like there's some really cool stuff to see there. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody's going back for a while. So looks like we are officially pulling out. Like if they've officially closed down Kandahar Airfield, that's a big giant step in saying we are definitely leaving. You know what I mean?
Cutting down an artery, you know.
Yep. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it also says here that they're hoping to have it emptied out by September 11th.
Afghanistan, yeah, we're supposed to have everybody out by September 11th. So the 20-year anniversary this year, the 20-year anniversary will be marked by us fucking ending the Afghanistan war, which will be very interesting. I don't even know how to feel about that. Like I've been there 3 times. That's like my war, and I'm like, it's kind of hard to believe that my war's not even over right now, and I've been 3 fucking times. Like,
yeah, right.
Like how is it not over? You know what I mean? Like on some level, like I don't know. It's weird. Kind of bittersweet.
It is bittersweet, especially with what's going on with Egypt and Gaza, and it's like, you know that Afghanistan's going to get roped into all of it.
Oh fuck yeah, they are. They're not
the conscript people and other fighters. You know, all of them are going to get into it. So.
Oh yeah, that's like in Iraq and Afghanistan. They had foreign fighters were coming in to train against us, basically, like just to get combat experience. You know what I mean? Like it's a common thing. Like people catch that bug, man. They want to go play war. You know what I mean? Like you go to the part of the world where you can fight. There's American soldiers. How many American soldiers went mercenary and fought in Syria with the Kurds and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Out of a movie, like it happens all the time.
Yeah, all the freaking time. It's not hard to get a passport, guys. You know what I mean? Like once you got a passport, you're pretty much free to go. You know what I mean? As long as you got a little bit of money. So,
I mean, the government ain't coming after you in a war zone.
No, they're not. No, the fuck, they're not.
At that point, they're like, all right, whatever.
Yep.
Maybe he'll die. Like that's what they're hoping.
So
Because then they don't have to worry about you.
So do you think that this is obviously this is a good thing for all the brothers and sisters coming back? Do you think it's a good thing for the country?
That's a tough one because I don't think we ever should have started talking or having any type of relations with the Taliban whatsoever. That's just my personal opinion. I think the Taliban are horrible for the fucking people of Afghanistan. When they ruled the country, they ruled with an iron fist, and Afghanistan took like several steps backwards as a country because of their rule. And them still being there is kind of like whatever to me. I don't really care. It's kind of hard to kill an idea. I get that, but for them to be having any say whatsoever in the country, or if the current Afghanistan government tries to do anything with them, it's going to spectacularly fail because the Taliban are known to go back on what they what they say they're going to do. They're liars. They're fucking cowards, and they're just going to start fighting again, and they're just going to try to take over the country again. Yes, so it's again very bittersweet. I know there's a lot of good Afghan people out there. I've met many of them, but my personal opinion is like, if the Taliban have any say in what that country does moving forward, it's going to just fucking fail again. It's just going to go back to being like a fucking shitty ass fucking like country, with nothing going for it. So that's me.
Yeah.
So,
and our last major news story, very, very interesting too, the conversation that we had before we went on the air. Space Force CO who got holiday call from President Trump fired over comments decrying Marxism in the military.
Yeah. How about that? Like, so he made...
I mean, that's news to me. I didn't even know that there was a Space Force... You said a Space Force general?
Lieutenant Colonel.
He was a lieutenant colonel. He was a CO, commanding officer.
I didn't even know that there was a CO for the Space Force.
They're moving fast.
Yeah, they're getting people transferred over from... Yeah, they're getting people transferred over from the Air Force and stuff like that. So, like, as they're filling the ranks, basically, but they're going to start obviously from the top down.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
Unfortunately, the decision was based on public comments made by Lieutenant Colonel Lohmeyer. Is that Lohmeyer in a recent podcast.
Right. Which is also weird because he's just decrying, I guess, that school of thought, the Marxist ideology, and how it's because he wrote a book about how it's some certain aspects of Marxist ideology have started infiltrating the military, and that's like, whether you agree or disagree with that, I don't really, it's kind of whatever. But for him to get, because if you write a book when you're in the military, you have to get it signed off. You have to get it blessed off, basically. Like, hey, I'm going to release this book to the public. You have to get it signed off by like the Pentagon, basically. Like, doesn't matter what your rank is. Like, and so they already signed off on his damn book. And then he just goes on a podcast to plug his book, and now he's getting fired over something he said on the podcast. Which, does it say in there what he said, John? Does it say exactly what he said?
No, it just says that he self-published a book. He self-published, which a big thing in itself. A book titled "Irresistible Revolution: Marxism, Goal of Conquest, and the Unmaking of the American Military." When I look at the title itself already tells me I have something to tell you guys. Listen up.
Right.
The comments are not shown here. But there is a comment here from Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin saying, "I don't demonize the man, but I want to make it clear to both him and every service member this diversity and inclusion agenda, it will divide us. It will not unify us."
Wait, did he say that about the defense secretary, or did the defense secretary say that about him?
He said that the defense secretary said that about Lohmeyer.
That almost sounds like a controversial comment in itself. I'm almost wondering if like that's what Lohmeyer said, like, because we're supposed to be like inclusive, right? Like that's freaking.
It does say what Lohmeyer says. It says that he didn't seek to criticize any particular senior leader or publicly identify troops within the book. Rather, he said he focused on the policy service members now have to adhere to align with certain agendas that are now affecting cultures.
Interesting. And he's been in the Air Force since, I think it said he graduated the Air Force Academy in 2006.
Yeah, 2006.
Funny story that I'll let everybody in on about this guy. I went to high school with him, and he was a year behind me. So he's a lieutenant colonel in the Space Force now. He used to be a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, or perhaps he got promoted, I don't know. But I'm actually friends on Facebook with him. Like we're not exactly all buddy, whatever, but we know each other. Like I know him, he knows me, we went to high school together. So I have like kind of a personal stake in this, and this is where, when everybody likes to say how liberal I am, this is where I'll definitely immediately turn around and back up my clearly conservative friend, right? Because I'm kind of neither. But this is it's funny to me when stuff like this happens. It's especially to a lieutenant colonel. That's not a small rank. That's not. And for him to have just transferred from the Air Force over to the Space Force, like, what are they going to do with him now? He's been in for 15 years. If he graduated the academy in 2006, he's been in for 15 years. He's still got 5 years left. Like, what's next?
Yeah, and it doesn't even say. It says Lohmeyer's temporary assignment in the wake of his removal is not immediately clear.
Hurry up and wait.
Say that one more time, John.
It says.
Like what
his temporary assignment in the wake of his removal is not immediately clear. So that I guess they're keeping that on the wraps. But hey, if you guys want to get the book, it sounds interesting to me. Irresistible Revolution.
I'd be curious to see just what he says. I mean, because I know. Like we were talking, me and Alex were talking before we started, about how the Army has kind of like the Army culture has changed over the years, and I told him he'd probably pull his beard out of his face, like with some of the stuff that we have to do nowadays, where, like, I think there is something to be said for it. I mean, I don't know about the whole Marxist thing. I'd have to read into that a little bit more, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that we do in the Army nowadays where I'm like, what the actual fuck are we doing? Like, are we just gonna sit here and waste time, or are we gonna fucking train? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
It's very interesting that these things happen, because especially since it was approved, like you said, because it does say here it was approved by the Pentagon and the Department of Defense.
Right.
So they must have had to read it. They must have read it. So that
that's what I'm saying.
It's different when you write a book about something and then you start actually talking about it and be recorded. Your like opinion. Right, because that's what they're boiled down to. That's his opinion. They don't agree with it or whatever. But when you start to speak and you're recorded speaking your thoughts that are different, it becomes a problem. because now you're on record saying it. And even though he wrote the book about it, it's a book, right? It's an art form as opposed to speaking your mind against the current. That doesn't work as well as writing a book about it does. And so I think that because of how culture is right now and how society is, like right now, it doesn't matter, really what your inner thoughts are about something. It's how you put it across in words, and that people just latch onto it, and that's what drives the opinion, of whether or not this person's good or bad or should be, demoted or something.
Absolutely.
And like you had said, Jay, with the changes in the military, it's even more political now, so than it ever was, and it always has been, but it's at a whole new level.
It really is.
Especially with him being the newly promoted head of the Space Force and now demoted from it. It's like, they're like, oh no, that doesn't look good. No, that doesn't look good. We got nope.
Right.
We fucked up. Just put somebody else. We'll figure it out. But he can't be on there now. He can't be the face.
And you raise a valid point, because me and John have had several conversations where, like, I've had to have him either clip something or edit something out of the podcast, because if I misspoke, or like my tongue got away from me for a second, I got to go back and be like, oh shit, because I'm still active. And it's like, and this, even though we have a disclaimer, it's why we have a disclaimer, but even though we have a disclaimer, and even though it says this is for entertainment purposes only, if the wrong person saw me say the wrong thing, even when I've only got like 3 or 4 months left in service, before I get out, it could cause a shit show. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take much these days for things to go viral, and you say the one wrong thing, and all of a sudden you're the fucking bad guy. Like, I kind of feel bad for my buddy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know exactly specifically what he said or why it pissed whoever it pissed off, but like, you don't really get a second chance anymore. Like, the Army and the Air Force especially, and now I'm assuming the Space Force along with it, they're like zero. Like, you're not allowed to make errors, especially on the officer side. You are not allowed to make a mistake. Yeah, it's like how do you go years without making a mistake? How does every decision be the right one? You know what I mean? And like, that's what they expect from their fucking officers nowadays, and it's stupid,
right? Because you're trained to make good decisions and perfect decisions.
Right, but we all know we're human beings. We're fallible. Like, we're not always going to make right decision. But you make the wrong decision as an officer in the Army, the Air Force, the fucking Space Force, obviously, you're done. Like, you are just fucking done. That's it. Your career is immediately stopped. Like, fuck that. Fucking fuck that.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know about you guys. I'm never gonna be perfect. Nor was I ever. Nowhere near. Like, I just do my best.
I remember my 7th grade teacher said, "If nobody's perfect, then why practice?"
Look at you.
Yeah. So
like that.
So we have our guest here, Johnny and Alex, and we want to know, so we got a bunch of questions here for you. The first thing is, who are you guys? What is Blaze Online?
Good.
Good. All right. So, who are we?
Did you say good? Did you say? Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Jay. This is what we say when we talk about Skype. Jay.
Yeah. There it goes.
Oh, Jay, you broke up for a second.
Oh, okay.
You got to say it again.
I said, get ahead. Is that how you say it? Get ahead.
He's not used to the Jersey lingo yet.
I
guess so, right? The accent.
I love it.
Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. Good. All right. So yeah, who we are? Blaze Online. 2 buddies that basically got together. Basically just from having some bullshit conversation, talking about, smoking, making it easy to get for people. You know what I mean? Just enjoying it. How great it can be. How little people really know about it still, especially Delta 8, which is what we're mainly suppliers in. Everybody knows Delta 9. They might not know it as Delta 9, but Delta 9 is traditional marijuana. It's the cannabis that you smoke and get high off of. But Delta 8 which we're now getting into and spreading awareness about, is about half as potent as Delta 9. It's a little bit more of a synthetic process because it's not as abundant in the plant, but it is kind of a in between from CBD and Delta 9. So it will give you a little bit of psychoactiveness. You can get a little bit of a high and a buzz, but it's more for the medicinal purposes. It's very relaxing. If you have trouble sleeping, which I do, Delta 8, take a gummy, smoke a little bit before you go to bed. You are out. It's going to give you the greatest night's sleep that maybe you've had in a long time. Oh, there you go. Awesome. Yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I actually have to agree with that. I quick review. When I opened up the gummies, first off, it was sealed. It was completely sealed. And the way that it was packaged to me, it was so safe. Like there was no, you could kick this thing, like you could punt it like a football and it wouldn't break. Like the packaging in it was so good. It was great. But when I opened it up, it was little pyramids. I've never seen, I've seen the sugar cubes, I've seen the rings. Yeah. And when I pulled it out, it was a pyramid. And it was the consistency was perfect, there wasn't, it wasn't like doused in sugar. It was great. And I'm not crazy about the passion fruit, but everything else. And I slept like a baby, and I took like 2 at a time too.
There you go.
So tell
You're
me,
probably feeling pretty good, maybe getting a little bit of giggly.
Yeah, you get like a tingly, like a little tickle in your chest.
Yeah, and you kind of feel good, and you kind of feel just happy about life. Like you're very, very content with the world. You're just in a good space.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Like with Delta 8, there is still like a psychoactive, like you will still get high. Like
Yes.
basically. Like,
Yeah.
So what is the difference then between? You said it's a little bit less potent than Delta 9, but can you guys kind of like explain the difference between Delta 8 and Delta 9 and why? Like what's the big deal if they both still get you high, then why not one or the other, or why even go down to Delta 8? Like I don't like what is the actual like difference I guess, like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Alex, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So the main difference right off the bat is the legality of it, right? So
Okay.
Delta 8 right off the bat is federally legal as long as it's derived from hemp that meets federal grow laws and stuff. I'm not going to get technical, but as long as it's derived from hemp and it's derived as, I think it's a I wanted to go get a piece of paper, but it's got to be derived as an isomer and not an isolate, or vice versa.
Okay.
I have the paper. I'll go get it here in a little while. But that's the main difference right off the bat, is you don't have to deal with like going and proving that you need to smoke weed, right? Just because you want to get a card and be able to go and do that, which you still can. But in the meantime, maybe Delta 8 is better for you than Delta 9 because like what you said before about getting couch locked.
Oh yeah.
With Delta. Like it does lock some people to the couch a little bit, and a lot of times those, like when you're smoking it, right, like traditionally, a lot of times those people just, maybe Delta 8's the first smokable they've ever tried. They never actually tried marijuana, and so Delta 8 is a nice segue for people to come in and see what they like and what they don't like about the two. Like I personally like Delta 8 a lot more than marijuana now. Like
Good.
I love stuff. Just because it's like, depending on where you get it, it could be anywhere from half to, like, now studies are showing up to 2/3 the strength of Delta 9.
Okay.
But you're typically in that like half range, and it, like Johnny said, man, it's like a really uplifting high. It doesn't, it can like lock you a little bit, but if you get that like, I got to do this, you can get up and go do it. You're not
I want to
like,
throw this in there too. There's no paranoia. Like you could smoke some Delta 9 and then maybe start getting a little weird, wigging out, maybe thinking that people are watching you or whatever if you go out in public or something like that. But with Delta 8, like you don't get any of that. There's just no paranoia to it. I could smoke a whole Delta 8 blunt to my face and then go out in public. And yeah, it might be I might be a little high, but it's not going to be to the extent, and I'm not going to be paranoid about it at all whatsoever. I'm just going to be myself, and maybe, if anything, in like a more happy, giddier, manner than I normally would be.
What is the process? Like you guys said, it comes from the hemp plant, which is traditionally like you can't get high off of hemp, right? So how do they extract it? How do they extract the active, I guess, components basically from a plant that's kind of known to not get you high? So do you have any idea how they do that, Alex, or how they figured out that you can still get high off of hemp? I guess.
Yeah. So there's very, very minute. It's a minor cannabinoid, right? And there's very minute traces of Delta 8 in hemp. Okay. Now that's where lies the main difference, is how it's derived. If it's derived synthetically from the hemp plant, but as well as from the CBD in the hemp plant, it's considered a synthetic. It's considered a synthetic process, and therefore is categorized as a Scheduled 1, right?
Oh, okay.
But if it's derived strictly from the hemp plant, and they don't use a synthetic process to take it from the CBD, then it's not considered in that category, and therefore is federally legal and not a Schedule 1. And we only sell products where it is derived from the hemp plant and not the CBD, so to speak.
Well, not the CBD, just traditional cannabis. Because CBD is still okay.
I'm going to go get that paper real quick.
Holy shit! The fucking drug laws in this country are goddamn archaic, dude. Like, holy fucking shit!
It's insane.
Just I can literally see like the fucking flaming hoops you guys have had to jump through, probably just getting this off the ground.
It's insane. I mean, even still that it's federally legal, like there's so much gray area. Like it's insane trying to get a bank to approve us for a business bank account. You know what I mean? Like we're using something else in the meantime right now that can hold the money that's coming in for the business. But you can't just go to TD Bank or Citi or Bank of America and just say, hey, I need a business bank account. They've told us no. We've tried, And New Jersey is working on legislation for getting that bank reform and for getting liability reform, because we don't have any liability insurance for this either.
They just did. They just started doing some of that out here in Colorado recently, because when Colorado, being one of the first states to go like fully legal or whatever, they had motherfuckers they had convoys where the truck in the middle was carrying thousands of dollars in cash from the dispensary, because they couldn't have a fucking bank account. So they have to drive to fucking Denver from Colorado Springs or Pueblo, just to fucking deposit cash, and it was all cash. There was no fucking ATMs or not ATMs. There was no debit card transactions at the store. You had to pay in cash. Mm-hmm. And they've just recently started finally getting outside of that. It's been, I don't know how many years, 5 or 6 years. Colorado's been legal at least. Where they're just now getting to that where banks are starting to accept money.
Delta 8 is considered illegal in the state of Colorado, and it's illegal to we could ship, Johnny, I just found this out. We could ship to Colorado, but it is illegal to sell Colorado or to sell Delta 8 within Colorado. And it's legal to have, and it's legal to get it shipped to you, but it's illegal to sell it within the border of Colorado.
So so that even goes for online purchase. So if I live in Colorado, I would not be able to purchase it. But let's say if my mother lived in Arkansas, she can pay for it in Arkansas and have it sent to me.
Well, it's illegal in Arkansas as well.
Oh,
but
shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much the idea, though. Yeah, you can purchase it from our store in New Jersey if you live in Colorado and have it shipped to you, but you can't purchase it from a vape shop that sells it because it's illegal, so they wouldn't even have it. And I got that paper, right? So the two differences in what makes Delta 8 legal and illegal is, let's see, it's a process where the laboratory isolates the Delta 8 THC rather than synthesizing it or isomerizing the cannabinoid. All right, so as long as it's an isolate and not an isomer.
Not an isomer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so fucking stupid.
It's such a small little thing that changes
we're
the
talking
whole.
about
synthesized product because they pretty much turn the CBD molecules into Delta 8 molecules.
It's basically like in a chemical compound process. It's one is one step away from the other, and you just can't use the one step. Like that's it, and that's what makes it fucking legal. And I have to assume you would never know if you ingested Delta 8 that was synthesized or Delta 8 that was pulled straight from the hemp plant. You would never know the difference between the two. This is not like a fucking wine tasting. It's like Delta 8 is Delta fucking 8, whether it's fucking used, whether it's extracted synthetically or extracted by isolating it, basically. Like,
and
how fucking stupid, dude! Like, holy shit,
right?
How do you guys put up with that? How do you put up with that bullshit, man? Like what the fuck?
Got to make sure that where we're getting it from does it the right way.
I guess.
And you do that by verifying their lab results.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I guess you trust the fucking chemist, right? Like, fucking,
you could definitely, with a lot of the wholesalers, you could definitely ask for the lab results that they have and stuff like that. Everybody has to have lab results in order to be selling this stuff. So
you guys are in New Jersey. Where's the hemp grown that you guys use in your product? Do you know?
Well, we get it from our wholesalers, right? And they pretty much use the handful of hemp growers that are throughout the United States. So it's all, some of it I know comes from where is it, like Wisconsin or?
If we ask you guys any questions and you're not, I guess, if it makes you like legally liable to answer a question, don't, by all means, like, just say like, can't answer that right now, like, it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. There should be no worries about any of that. Like all the places that we get our stuff from, like, we do our due diligence. We ask them the questions. Where is it? Like, I don't write it down. I'm not going to memorize it. I ask them the one time. We do the research. It checks out. Then we clear them pretty much. As long as no red flags come up.
Right. What was it like setting up in New Jersey? Like when you're setting up in a state that's kind of like semi-friendly but not all the way friendly, like.
Well, I mean, New Jersey, it wasn't really hard to set up. You know what I mean? To get the ground rolling. New Jersey is moving forward on a lot of these issues. I mean, traditional Delta 9 has just been legalized in our state.
Right.
So there's still a lot of moving parts that need to be figured out in terms of getting the sales ready and all the regulations. The CRC, Cannabis Regulatory Commission, still has a lot of work to do, making a lot of the rules. But New Jersey is moving forward really quickly with a lot of this stuff. So Delta 8 isn't really an issue to them, at least until it comes to the bank accounts, which we just talked about, and the liability insurance and stuff like that. But our governor and some other guys up there are working on a lot of this reform.
Scutari, yeah,
Scutari's been great. He's been doing a lot. He's a huge advocate.
Yeah, I have to agree that like our governor Phil Murphy, he's a little wonky. I know that he's trying to push everything. It's just so frustrating when we have all these ideas like home grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like home grow. I think right now that's the biggest fight that we have right now that we're trying to fight for, is home grow. But other than that, other than some of the cities that are refusing and banning cannabis sales in their townships, which I think is
they do that here in Colorado too.
Yeah, which
that's
is
like Colorado Springs, where you have the Air Force Academy, Fort Carson. There's a couple of Air Force bases there.
Really, there's no marijuana
you can't
there.
You cannot buy. There are medical dispensaries in Colorado Springs. There's not a single recreational dispensary in Colorado Springs. But the minute you leave the city limits going north towards Denver, or the minute you leave the city going south down here to Pueblo, where I live, there's dispensaries. So it's one of those, like, the city itself decided to be fucking stupid, and because the city, whoever the board of directors is or whatever the voting block of the city, the council of directors or whatever, they said, yeah, fucking Colorado Springs doesn't want recreational reefer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how New Jersey is doing it too. Murphy is leaving it up to the townships to decide whether they want
Right.
it around or not. And, you know, I
Which is
know
not
a
a
few
bad
townships that
thing.
are.
Not necessarily bad.
No,
It's
yeah.
just
Depends, I guess,
it's
what's going on in the
it
township, whether there's going to be a lot of kids around or, you know, whatever. I can understand that.
right.
I do
I
have a.
have to.
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
It was the military. I was just gonna say I have to assume it was probably the military aspect that kept Colorado Springs from, going, having like full on recreational dispensaries. I have to assume.
Yeah.
And but it's really telling that a city the size of 600,000 or 700,000 people have to travel to go to a recreational dispensary. You know what I mean? Like that if they want to smoke. You know what I mean? Like versus like here in Pueblo, there's a shitload of dispensaries. I know in Denver they have a fuck ton too. So it's Go ahead, John.
Two questions. My first question is, actually, I'll leave that one for a second. My second question, which I'm going to make first. So we as we know, there's only medical dispensaries right now in New Jersey. I actually live right down the block from one of them in Woodbridge. Very very interesting. Do you guys with the slow process of recreational facilities opening up? Do you guys see yourselves opening up in New Jersey a physical shop?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like,
What we've talked
my,
about more than just opening a dispensary though is opening a lounge, a cannabis lounge. You know, so we're
Fuck
not
yeah.
going for the traditional dispensary effect of just we're a store, here's some weed, take it and go. You know, we want a lounge. So you can come in, you can bring your
Fantastic.
stuff, you can, we're gonna have some consoles, some entertainment systems, some movie nights, some educational seminars that we want to hold, but it's gonna be a place where you can come in, relax on the couch, pull up a chair or this beanbag, this giant beanbag, come relax, smoke, enjoy your time. You know what I mean? You're not in a rush to leave. Just do what stoners do. Smoke and
Right.
I
chill,
like it.
relax.
I like it. And my
Perfect.
my other
the,
question.
the oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And but with Jersey poses a very specific issue for the legalization of marijuana, and that is that a lot of places don't allow you to smoke in the premises. And if they do give you a spot outside, let's face it, they're not actually very well accommodating, are they? So a lot of people, I think, we both think, will want to have a place dedicated to smoke, worry free without their landlord getting a complaint, or because even if somebody smokes in a designated area, that doesn't mean that somebody with their window open can't complain about it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
cigarettes are one thing, but marijuana, it still has a lot of negative taboo. So there's still going to be complaints enough to where people will call the cops. The cops will show up and like, well, there's really nothing we can do. Just close your window, I guess. But it's just, I really do think that it's going to pose a huge problem. And what better way to come to a place to bring your own weed or buy whatever we sell if we do that and chill out, man, and just lounge with your fellow stoners, like
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it'd be good.
we want it to be like kind of a hub, like a community hub for smokers.
That's
You
good.
know?
So is it safe to say that in the future of Blaze Online, you guys will also be providing with Delta 9 as well? Or will you guys just
Yeah.
be sticking with Delta 8?
We do plan to offer Delta 9 in the future as well.
And how about CBD products? Because there's always that niche few.
Well, some of our products already have CBD.
Yeah.
We have this really nice CBD toothpaste.
I was
Some of the Delta 8 cigarettes that we have CBD in them as well. But if you're talking about like specifically only CBD, absolutely. I mean, we already have the toothpaste. The toothpaste isn't anything else but CBD toothpaste. But
That's great.
in terms of the way toothpaste goes anyway, I love it. I think it's great.
That's
Very
fantastic.
minty fresh.
I mean, you got some some ivories there, man. So I can tell it works.
Oh man, I don't know about that.
My other question is, so with all the legalities that happened, did a lot of this spring from the 2018 Farm Bill?
I mean, that's how Delta 8 is legal because of the
Fantastic.
verbiage in the 2018 Farm Bill. That's a huge, huge reason why we're able to do what we do is because of that bill.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now it's if I'm not mistaken, it is the DEA and the interim final rule, the IFR, which was published in August 21, 2020, which is pretty much it's starting to really define some of the language in the 2018 Farm Bill. And that's why there is a scare that Delta 8 might be made illegal because of the different processes like synthetic and being it natural coming from the hemp plant itself, not the CBDs. But it's just like right there on the fence, man. And we're just like the industry, we're just waiting for the DEA to like actually start giving meaning. 'Cause you know how legalese is, right? Like they'll say synthetic, but they won't actually define what they mean by synthetic in this particular context. So because they don't do that, it defaults to the default meaning of synthetic, which is anything derived in a chemical process as opposed to just like extracting it by heating it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's to come full circle, it's something that we just gotta wait and see, and we're gonna keep going until they tell us to stop.
This is I gotta say, guys, like for me, this is fascinating. Like, and to see two, I guess, youngish like entrepreneurs kind of taking kind of like something that's pretty fresh and pretty new and out there, and taking a chance on it, and just kind of grabbing it by the balls and going like 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like that I think it's great. Like it's fascinating that you guys are like. Obviously, you have to be into it. You have to have knowledge of the subject. Obviously, I mean, I expect that. Obviously, but to see the two of you like just kind of jumping in with into the deep end with both feet and just saying fuck it, like we're gonna do this. We don't care, and we'll figure out the rest along the way.
Yeah.
I mean, if I may ask, I mean, obviously not looking for specific numbers here, but how is business? Like, how is business? Like, are you still?
Well, we actually just got an order while we were on this call. We got an order about 10 minutes ago. So
I think I know where that order's from.
Did get a new order. Check that out. Before that, an order as well. So I mean, business is good. It's not like terrible. It's what you would expect. Being an e-commerce only, right? We don't have a physical location or any foot traffic. So, and those laws, that getting back to those, make it extremely difficult for us to advertise or be seen. I mean, the Facebook has been shut down several times. The Instagram got deleted once.
That was gonna be my next question. Your challenges that you had too. So that's great that you're talking about it.
It's been rough. It's very hard to be seen, even if you're just into CBD. Like, and then with Delta 8, there's still just a lot of social media guidelines. Like, we're considered drugs, and on Facebook, drugs is considered even over-the-counter crap. But you can advertise a service to deliver that pharmaceutical, and it's fine. You can't.
Which is so funny because
pharmaceutical.
Which is so funny because
sell aspirin, I could, but if I want to deliver the aspirin, I can.
Yeah, and this drug right here, nobody has a fucking problem with, right? Even though statistically linked to fucking domestic violence, child abuse, fucking early death. You know what I mean? It's addictive as fucking hell. God forbid though, Delta 8. God forbid, right? God forbid fucking cannabis in general, right? God forbid.
Yeah, the negative stigma.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we're trying to bring awareness to it, because it's really not that bad. It offers a lot of medical benefits. I mean, it's not bad for you. Whereas, especially when you're comparing the two, alcohol versus marijuana. You can overdose on alcohol. You can die of alcohol poisoning. You smoke too much marijuana, what are you going to do? Fall asleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The dose that you would need to actually kill yourself is
physically
1,000 times what you could actually smoke in one sitting.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like they've done the math. Like, it's physically impossible. If you're we're just talking about smoking here. It is physically impossible to smoke enough marijuana to receive a toxic dose.
Yep.
There's
like a tractor trailer load.
Yeah,
too much smoke inhalation.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. You would probably die of smoke inhalation before you received a lethal dose.
Jesus
So
Christ. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's like farting in a blanket and you going under it. Like, that's. Which is something you can actually die from. That's not even a joke.
I didn't know that. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah. There was
No more Dutch ovens, I guess.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know what the full story is, but the
now
guy.
what you got to do with the old lady is I used to call it the oven blast. So instead of doing like a Dutch oven, is like you rip ass, right? And you like like when you like waft the sheets real quick, it's just all at once. So instead of like trying to like keep them in there and keep them smelling it, it's just like you waft the blankets, and it's like an oven blast. So like when you open the oven and it's like 400 fucking degrees in there, and you just get like that wave of heat. It's like that.
My
It's
God.
like that with the I call that the
Oh my
you
god.
well, because one of my ex-wives, like I have two ex-wives, by the way, guys. I'm completely stereotypical fucking veteran here. Like I got one of my ex-wives, like she would fight me so hard. I would like try to Dutch oven her, and she would just fight the fuck out of me. So I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I got the solution to this. It's the fucking oven blast. Like you're not gonna let me Dutch oven you. You're still getting it. Like, it ain't going away. All right. Also, I'm now twice divorced. So surprise, surprise.
So what products do you have to take away that Dutch oven smell? So what because you guys have a lot of products. So what do you guys have? What are we looking at here? Because I'm assuming that you have that's a couple of your products behind you. I saw you kind of almost knock it over before, which I was just like, oh shit.
Close.
Oh, don't move. Just cut that out.
So
yeah,
man,
so-
we talked about the gummies. What else you guys got? Please don't forget the rose petal blunt either.
Talk about everything on the back shelf there. So right now, what we mainly sell is flour, right? So we have flour. We have pre-rolls, both in like joint style and like a cigarette style. We also have the gummies, like you mentioned. Right now, we're getting restocked with our 75 milligram gummies. Those are best sellers. And we're going to be moving away from the gummies that you had mentioned earlier, John. So when we're going to be replacing it with some new stuff that we got back here on the shelf. One of the companies that we work with, and we're going to go into this in one of our live events, is they're called Hometown Hero, and a portion of their sales go to disabled American veterans. So.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a very trusted product, and it's very well known. They've been awarded and up and everything. And we're just now getting into concentrates, right? So wax dabs, tinctures, right, which is a form of edible, but it's also concentrate. And I wish we could sell vapes. I know that the USPS has put a hold on the vape ban, but it's just to get into it now and then try to sell it before they make up their mind. I just don't want to. We just can't afford it.
See how this thing goes up. Holy.
Look at that shit.
Yeah, man. Look at that.
What's that taste like? What's that taste like?
Tastes great.
I'm fucking.
Oh man, you can really taste the rose.
I'm fucking jealous, dude.
So that's authentic rolled rose petal.
Yes.
That
You're literally.
is fucking
You're literally
crazy.
smoking a fucking rose petal with fucking Delta 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fucking badass.
And it's got the cigar band on it too. It's got a
First
fucking
off,
cigar band.
I feel fucking cheated. First off, okay, I grew up in the fucking 1990s. Where in the finger fuck was this shit in the 90s, bro? Like we didn't have shit. I was smoking
Somewhere,
like
I
was smoking fucking like Mexican brickweed that fucking tasted like gasoline. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck? And I was happy about it, right?
Well, it has come a long way. It has come a very, very long way. So like what Johnny's smoking is it's a rose petal wrapped blunt. It's 3.5 grams, and the company that we're going through, which is we're going to reveal them in one of our live events because they're kind of like a nice we're very proud to be doing business with them. Let's just put it that way.
Good.
But all their stuff, like all their blunts, they're prepared. They're made to order. So when we get them, we're getting them fresh. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't have to worry about getting a blunt that's been sitting in its package for like a week, and you get to it and it's dry. You know. So how is that, Johnny? Is that like nice and like? How's the humidity with the blunt?
Well, it went out on me again.
It's huge though.
I mean it lights up a lot, so I want to really be careful that I'm not just gonna burn it all up. Because I've never smoked a rose petal blunt before. This is interesting.
Yeah,
but that first hit got me good, man. Holy. You can really tell that there's 3.5 grams in here.
That's pretty good. So wait, what'd you just pick up? You just picked up the flower?
Yeah. So this is like some of the flower that we sell, right?
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't look that much different from Delta 9 at all, you know. So that's pretty cool.
No, visual wise, it's gonna look the same.
What about smell?
Like it smells very good. Depending on the strain, depends on what it smells like, of course. But it still smells, like traditional marijuana. Just depends on what strain. It smokes great.
Like these are the pre-rolls, right?
Okay, is that the joint pre-roll?
Yeah. So like, here, I'll go and demo this real quick.
This is really cool.
My ETS and DD2 course cannot come fucking soon enough. Shit.
So what this is right here, right, is this is a Delta 8 pre-roll cone, right, with Delta 8 flower, which, mind you, Delta 8 flower is hemp CBD, right? What happens is the company either injects the plant with the Delta 8 isolate, like the distillate, the oils, or they spray it or dip it, like coat it. Right? So that's how you get Delta 8 flower. So
okay.
All Delta 8 flower is CBD flower with Delta 8 added to it in one way or another. So you get both the benefits of CBD as well as the Delta 8, and you get stoned, right? This has Stormy Daniels in it. It's coated in the oil as well, and then rolled in the CBD kief.
Wow.
And so you have the Delta 8 flower inside, then Delta 8 oil on the outside, and then the kief. And it's loaded with whatchamacallit. It's just loaded with beneficial CBD, like different cannabinoids, right? You got CBDA, CBDG. You got the what's it called? The tetra hydro something acid, the THCA, right? And it's just a very different smoke, right? The medical marijuana is there because it does alleviate, a lot of different, ailments, but it still doesn't have, the high content of different CBD, which the Delta 8 flower does. So, and you can get different kinds. Like there's candy, right? Sour space candy, right? It's like a very popular flower amongst different wholesalers. And it has a higher, not very high, but it has a higher concentration of CBD, depending on the type of grow that they do. And we also have another one, a silver haze, that has very high CBG content. And what CBG does on top of CBD and the 8 is it helps you regulate your endocannabinoid system, because it interacts with both your CB1 and CB2 receptors. So it helps positively affect like your mood. It helps you sleep. It helps with pain and inflammation, and it also helps with the pleasure sensor too. So you'll enjoy it better. Let's say if you're not feeling so great, or maybe you're having a little trouble in the romantic section of your life, and you need to spark things up. CBG was known to boost the pleasure sensor in your brain. So if you're having trouble in the bed, buy some of our CBG, Silver Haze.
That's what's up. See, like, I don't necessarily have erectile dysfunction, but I typically have to get really violent. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be like choking, slapping. It's got to be like a struggle on some level, right?
You need a blue chew for that. Would you guys make like a Delta 8 blue chew type Viagra gum? Would that be something?
Somebody thought of it.
We just gave you your next $1 million idea right there.
Yeah, right. I guess if it's possible, let's do it.
But, I mean, they found a way to make hemp fucking psychoactive, right? So I mean, like, you know, like why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
This is what people thought CBD flower was going to be. This is what they wanted it to be back when this came out.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they didn't want to get lit and stoned like anybody else would with marijuana, but they wanted the healing factor to it. But they wanted a little bit of a buzz, and this is what this does. It gives you a nice, even buzz, and it keeps you right at that level before you're like stoned. That's how I like to describe it. It keeps you right there before you're like, dude, I'm stoned. We need to go out and eat or something. You know,
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah, you don't really get the munchies like you would on Delta 9. You know, I mean, you can get the munchies a little bit, but it's going to be nowhere severe. You're not going to just annihilate an entire bag of Doritos, you know, just because it's sitting there.
Is there an importance with Delta 8 helping people with tolerance levels compared to Delta 9?
Well, it's a different receptor. It's accepted by a different receptor in your brain. So really, your tolerance level to Delta 9 shouldn't really correlate to Delta 8. They're kind of two different tolerance levels.
Yeah, but I mean,
Good.
everybody's different. That's the thing though, to remember. And there's some people that can smoke marijuana and be like, oh, I don't feel it. And some people have too high of a metabolism, right? Others have too low of a metabolism and say that edibles never work for them. So that being said, like Delta 9 compared to the Delta 8, it really depends how much you smoke. Like I had a friend when I had him try some stuff, and like he said he didn't feel anything, but then he smoked all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like nonstop. So, but he said he didn't feel nothing. So it really depends. It really does depend. Like
I also think the dose has something to do with like a weight ratio. You know, if you're more of a heavyset person,
Okay,
you're gonna have to take a heavier dose for the same effects. You know what I mean?
Similar to drinking, basically.
Yeah.
Kinda. Like alcohol, like your hard alcohol tolerance is different than your beer tolerance, you know, but it's still kind of the same tolerance, but not really. But as a marijuana smoker, though, like the first time I smoked Delta 8, it hit me pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, it did hit me pretty nice, and I didn't find that my tolerance for marijuana interfered with my Delta 8.
That's interesting. I'm gonna be really interested, you know, come this October when I get out, because I know the game has changed. Like there's
discounts, bro.
There's a whole marijuana industry in this world right now, you know, and stuff that did not fucking I was joking about earlier, but the reality is this shit didn't fucking exist back in the 90s, the early 2000s. You know, like the last time that I smoked regularly was fucking high school and fucking the 3 or 4 years immediately following. You know, after that I kind of got my head on straight, started doing, you know, stuff more for myself, and didn't drink very much, didn't smoke very much, just kind of, you know, whatever in my mid-20s. And it's funny now, having been in the Army for 11 years, I just turned 40 in January. But I'm not going to lie, I enjoy the social aspect, right, of of drinking. But how it makes me feel, or how I feel the next day if I tie one off with my buddies, it's fucking dog shit. I fucking hate it. I despise alcohol as a drug because there's just no fucking payback. With marijuana, there was always a little bit of payback. Like it didn't take much to fucking get something good out of it. Like I could take fucking 2 hits off of a fucking joint and call it a night and be happy with myself. You know, and hour or two later, I was fucking easily okay to fucking drive. Wasn't a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to worry about fucking drinking one too many of these, you know, having a blood alcohol content, and three hours after I took my last drink, I'm still fucking lit the fuck up. You know, and I can still go to jail for a fucking DUI. You know what I mean? Like, marijuana is really a lot different as far as, like, you know, we talk about tolerance and responsibility. and being an adult basically with our recreational stuff, right? And stuff like Delta 8, Delta 9, even a lot of the stuff that the industry has now, like with the gummies, the chocolates. I mean, there's so much stuff out there that just did not used to exist.
Yeah, I could say that too, because it was like a time warp. I went into the Army in 2012 and I got out in 2016. When I got in, I never even heard of extracted oils or shatter or crumble or fucking cornflake and whatever else, I never even, the only other thing I heard of was people making chocolate chip cookies, and that was it.
Yeah, we used to make we made butter. We would use
too.
We would make butter, and we'd make peanut butter cookies. And I remember we definitely used to do that. That was like one of the only things we would ever do is you could sprinkle actual flour on like eggs, for example, like for your scrambled eggs, you could like literally like just eat the flour, or you could extract, you could make an extraction. You make butter basically, and then you make like cookies out of it, right? But that was about as far. This is even going back to like 2003. So really not that long ago, about 17, 18 years ago. Even going back then, like that was about as far as we had come, as far as like just a regular Joe Blow, regular smokers. That's all we had in the day. That's about as far as, and literally, I say literally, we would just eat the flour. If you wanted to get kind of like that body high, basically, like with edibles, you would literally have to like just ingest the flour. Like, literally.
I mean, as long as you put it combine it with a fat, it'll absorb to some extent.
Right,
like,
and it did.
On butter, bacon. That.
It's gotten very crazy now, because in 2016 was like the rise of shatter, and just a couple weeks ago I saw this thing called Cannabis.
Oh yeah, that shit you could snort.
Yeah, the THC crystal. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was like, what the hell?
It's like,
but it's gotten wild. It's gotten absolutely wild.
Really
but while we're talking about a bunch of wild products, you guys have this. What happened, Jay? Oh shit! It's that fucking
Cut out again.
Yeah, it's that fucking Colorado internet. That Skype shit. Jay, what did you say, man? Because you cut off again.
God damn it! God damn. What did I think? I was joking about being able to snort cannabis. Like I was like, that's all. I was just joking about that. I was just being a fucking joker.
And we missed the punchline.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll snort cannabis all day long, but it's not gonna for my one true love, fucking alcohol and cocaine, right?
Well, while we're talking about wacky products, you guys have toothpaste, you guys have Delta 8 cigarettes, you guys have flour, you guys have gummies. Do you guys have topicals and edibles?
So we're looking into topicals now. We're taking that next step into it. We just picked up some topicals from Hometown Hero, so we're going to test those out, see how they are. In terms of edibles, we do have some plans to bring in some chocolate. There's like so many different types of edibles, man. They mimic like name brand stuff now. So there's like Oreos, but they're called like that's the cream.
Yeah, this is a Delta 8 cream that we have. You sore knees or whatever. You rub this on your knees, and it'll make you feel a little better.
Oh, so is this like an exclusive first look right here?
Yeah, this isn't on the website yet. It's about to be.
That is
we
amazing.
have it on order right now.
Look at that cream pain.
Yeah, it's actually
shit, man.
Transportation, it's shipping.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that stuff is actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, it does wonders. It does wonders. I've been having a lot of back pain pretty recently. Rub it on my back. My back feels a ton better. I mean, Alex, you've got your own experiences. You and Erica using it.
My wife, she got into a car accident at 16 and like got some nerve damage in her neck, and it's been like messing with her ever since. She puts the stuff like I help her put it on like at night, and when she goes to bed, she doesn't feel the pain as much. And then when she goes to work, she doesn't know, like depending on how stressful her day is, she won't notice the pain until around 10 or 1 o'clock, and she's clocking in at like she's waking up at 6:30 in the morning and then clocking in at like 8. You know what I'm saying? So she doesn't feel it up until midday. So like when she would wake up, that's the first thing on her mind is like the pain in her back. And when she told me this, I was like, "Really? It's like that good?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I use it on like my knees, right? Because if you're a veteran, you have shitty knees and shitty ankles. So it only gets worse the fatter and older you get. So like it actually does dull the pain out. It really does, man. And I was actually surprised myself. Like it has peppermint in it, right?
Oh,
And I think also, I forget. I think it has lavender as well in it, and other types of. I don't have the actual page on me. Probably should have had that, but either way, like it has a lot in it. And once we put it on the website, we'll have all the ingredients in there because we're very transparent about what's inside everything. But yeah, like it goes on like pepperminty, like
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it kind of feels like Bengay or something. You kind
yeah,
of rub it on and it gives you like that minty-ish kind of
like
light
that
burny-ish
feel,
kind of feel.
Yeah, like Tiger Bomb and shit.
Yeah.
Tiger
exactly.
Bomb.
yeah, and it has the Delta 8 in it, and so you're delivering it right there, right? As long as it's not like I guess a really bad pain, it does a pretty good job at numbing it out
That's
and taking
nice.
it down from like a 10 to like a dull roar like a 5 or something. You
Right,
know?
right. It's good shit, guys. That's good shit.
That's good. Now, this I'm trying not to be financially personal on this question. So in dispensaries, an eighth goes for about $60 to $65.
Which is fucking ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
Generally, how much can we find about that much of Delta 8 for?
I mean, it really depends because just like the marijuana game, different strains have different potencies, so they go for a little bit more, but it's typically it's typically about anywhere between $10 to $12 a gram,
That's great.
and we sell, if I'm not mistaken, I think we sell 3.5 grams for I think it's around like I don't my computer's messing up, so I can't really turn it on. But I think it's pretty much at like 35 or like $60. I know it's a big jump, but I'm pretty sure it's like 45, somewhere in between that range. And let Johnny checking it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out right now. I forget off the top of my head. We set these prices a
But like
little
the
while ago.
industry standard is about $11 to $12 like average a gram is what you'll find. Sometimes you find $10 a gram. But again,
All right, so one of the strains we have on our website, Mongo, which is actually one of the more potent strains that we have right now, is for 3.5 grams. It is $27.48, so under $30 for 3.5 grams.
for anybody not in the know, 3.5 grams is when you were a kid. That's what we used to call a dime bag.
Yeah.
So that's what we used to call a dime bag. So 3.5 grams, but that's in today's prices. Like I totally understand why it has to be a little bit more expensive for now. Like so. Also, I grew up in Tucson, Arizona. So growing up in Arizona, weed was very cheap. So very cheap.
Shit.
And
we would get a quarter ounce was $20
God,
for like the entire time I smoked. Like
Wow,
from the
that is dirt cheap.
Right?
I'm talking like that price didn't change for like 10 years. Like I smoked from like early teenage years into like my early 20s. Like for 10 years, you get a fucking quarter ounce for fucking $20. That was the going rate in Tucson, Arizona.
In New
like
Jersey,
no shit.
those are
Like,
in New Jersey, those are Reggie prices, man.
bro,
dude.
in Staten Island, bro, before when there was only regs available, I was getting 25 quarters. fucking straight $100, man, just for that was
Yeah.
heaven.
Right.
And you know, Alex, we grew up in the same area. You know, it was overly saturated with people who didn't know what a dime bag was back in the day. You know, we've all been through it. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's
That's
crazy.
what
I
we
know until I
that's
do. So, it's like, if you're not part of the culture, you're not
right.
gonna know what it is.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, 3.5 grams is half of a quarter. That's an eighth, right? And that's what we got for $10 back in the day.
uh,
That was literally our fucking dime bag. Like,
What a time.
the kind of
what a time.
when
The
you
'90s
said
were the
earlier-
shit, dude. The '90s were the shit. I had a lot of fun. I promise you. I enjoyed the '90s. Okay, I would go back if I could. Okay, like I had a great time in the '90s. Thank you.
But kind of touch back on what you said earlier, Jay. Another one of the main differences about Delta 8 flower and just products in general is that you'll typically find that they're about half as expensive, or you know what I'm saying, compared to like marijuana products.
That's
So
good. Yeah.
where like an eighth, would be $60 in recreational or
Right.
medical, it's almost it's a little bit less than half that because we
I
sell
could
it
see
for
I can see you guys
27.
making a fucking I can see you guys making a fucking killing on that shit. Just on that alone, because if there is still like a psychoactive, component to it, and you do still
There
get
is, yeah.
a little bit of a buzz, people are gonna go for that. Like not everybody likes to get vapor locked to the fucking couch.
Yeah,
Not everybody
absolutely.
some people enjoy the act of smoking and they want to be able to smoke consistently. Like whereas like a more traditional, I guess, marijuana smoker, you can't sit there. You can't always just sit there and fucking like inhale over and over again because you're just getting high as fuck. And the more you inhale, the more like you're in outer fucking space by the time you finish a fucking joint by yourself. You know what I mean? Some people just like enjoying that, like they enjoy the act of smoking. And it's nice to be able to sit there for a couple minutes, almost like with a cigarette, but you're not getting blasted into fucking the fourth dimension, just because you fucking finished a joint by yourself. You know what I mean? Like I can see that. I can see that.
Well, a good way to look at it is Delta 8 is a great way to start your day. Delta 9 is a great way to end it. You know
I
what I
like
mean? Because
that.
Delta 9 is going to bog you down, but Delta 8 is going to pick you up and get you ready for the day.
There you go. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm
I'm looking forward to October, guys. I'm telling you what. You said earlier you got an order while we were talking. Like is it from Missouri by chance? Just out of curiosity.
Sure, let's look.
Because you'll probably be sending some stuff out to me in Colorado here in October.
I have to say I'm on your website right now. I love
Missouri.
I go on the
Is it
I've been
Missouri?
on the website before, but I feel like
Well, that's my old lady, dude. That's my old
oh
lady.
no shit, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, she's
Oh, wow.
she's listening into us. I've got her on FaceTime right now.
No, that's fantastic.
She's listening. She likes to listen when we're live. So obviously we're doing a little bit of a pre-record today. So
Actually,
but
yeah, I want to say so. The website I mean, I love the little smoke, little animation you got going on in the top banner here. This is fantastic. But I love the website's easy. It's user friendly. So anybody who doesn't know how to use the internet can easily go through it and go. The links are right there up top. It's an easily accessible website. You have a lot of great products here. This is great. We're in a new time. We're in a new time of cannabis. We're in a new time in health.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
real.
absolutely.
It's a big portion of our mission statement, right? Is education and like pushing this for the health benefits, right? Like, yeah, we got to make money to keep going, but it's more about mission and about people and about all of that. Like, honestly, because we are both very passionate about this. We both believe in it very well. It's just in cannabis in general, not only Delta 9 or Delta 8. So it's something that we're passionate about and we hold like near and dear to ourselves, and I think that helps us push through, even though when we went to what was it? We went to a conference, right? It was an online conference. And when people found out that
those
we
are
were,
great, by the way.
yeah, they are. They're fantastic. I love the way they set those up. But when people found out that we were doing Delta 8 because it was a
Oh
uh,
God, here we
cannabis one,
go.
when they found out we were doing Delta 8, they were like, oh, wow, really? And they were surprised because of how volatile the market is for Delta 8 right now, because it's kind of up in the air with the DEA, as
Yeah,
we mentioned earlier. So it was it was kind of eye opening to see that that's what everybody like. They were almost like half of them were taken aback, and the other half were like, "Hell yeah, get it, man!" You know.
Yeah,
But it
like-
was
Yeah,
just
the rest didn't even know what Delta 8 was.
I wish,
yeah.
I wish
Right?
I could.
That's so
This
true.
is one of those areas where like I wish I could actually like espouse like my actual opinion on some of that stuff, because this is where I would get myself in trouble by putting my foot in my mouth, like my buddy did with his book, right, or his when he was on the podcast, right? Like, because I have certain feelings about certain 3-letter agencies that are out there, you know, that I just can't go on record in public stating, right? So
Yeah, not yet, not yet.
not yet. October though, October.
You know how time flies. It's gonna go by in the blink of an eye.
That's gonna be
Oh,
a
yep.
scary,
You wanna talk about
episode.
Like, let's try 11 years went by in a blink of an eye. 11 years went by in a blink of an eye.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was just yesterday I went to MEPS. You know what I mean? And now it's been 11 years, and all of a sudden I'm 40 fucking years old. So how about that?
Fucking met, man.
So
But, yeah, we're gonna be introducing a lot more new products here very soon. Like, we're gonna be doing some live events later. But yeah, because you had asked earlier, John, if we were gonna be introducing anything else. That cream is one of them. The Rosebud blunts are gonna be something we're offering as well.
I'm excited for that rose blunt. To be honest with you,
They also have
Yeah,
normal.
it was very tasteful, very nice.
In hemp leaves themselves, like actual, I forget, there's an actual type of leaf on the plant that is used for like rolling, and they actually like pick them right off the plant and harvest them and roll your blunt with it, and it gets sent to you. And we're gonna be having a bunch of hometown hero products to go from edibles to tinctures to smokables, as well as I think it's cones, right? From
Yeah.
from the cigar place, right? Yeah. So we're gonna have a whole new
You're talking about the flight pack?
a whole new brand of joints or pre rolls. Because that's what we're doing too. Like, a big portion of what we're doing is like cycling things out so that people can get a huge variety, and we showcase like only like what we believe is like the best stuff. And then we're gonna be selling like a few staple brands, right? So we're just trying to maximize, the customer experience as well.
All the products we sell have been tested by us. So if it doesn't pass what we like,
it's like you get like that one bad batch, and you're like testing it yourself.
So
you wake up like 3 days later in like fucking Morocco. Like, oh shit, oh fuck. I don't think we're gonna have. I don't think we can do this one. Like,
so does the rose blunt get a go then?
yeah. What was the?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna give the rose blunt a go. For sure.
All right,
I mean, we have the 3.5 right now. That's definitely going to be the first one to hit the website, but there's bigger ones as well. I mean, we'll see. I don't want to.
That's a lot. That's a lot to smoke in one sitting. I don't care.
I could do it.
I
could do it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care how like potent or not potent it is. Like that's a lot to smoke in one sitting. Like you smoke that much in one sitting. Like, holy shit. Like, God bless your lungs. You know
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get one and I'm gonna make a video. Watch.
There's a 15-gram rose petal.
15 grams.
15 gram rose. It's like a full, thick, fatty cigar.
Yep. Oh my god.
When does that come out?
I can't wait to get out.
When does that come out?
Oh my god.
Does that come out? Does that come out before August?
Before August, I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, most likely.
We'll talk offline. John's trying to be sneaky. We'll talk offline.
Definitely something that we're gonna be introducing into our product line. Like, we're really like, I'm excited that you have those, man. Like, flip it off and send like the half to me or something.
I can do that.
He said clip it off. I'm not sure about Jay, but my last question.
Yeah.
What happens here? Do you guys see yourself at doing vendor events after coronavirus? Do you what happens? What's gonna happen?
What's next?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the next steps?
Yeah. What's next?
Trying to be seen, honestly.
Yeah, we're working on a press release to get a press release out to a shit ton of news stations, get our name out there. You know what I mean? Just try to market ourselves. And really, a lot of what we can do is word of mouth right now, minus the press releases, because social media doesn't really let us get away with any advertising. But
once we put this podcast on YouTube, if you want to put a link on your page somewhere, or that you did this podcast, you guys are more than welcome to do that. You are more than welcome to use us, on some level, like to do that for yourselves.
Damn Skype.
You guys are fucking business.
Cutting out again.
Am I cutting out again?
Very slightly, very slightly.
But yeah, check us out, blazeonlinenj.com.
So
definitely plug link.
For the 4% who listen to us in India, the 2% in Brazil, the 92% in the United States, the 1% in Canada, Germany, Ireland, Australia, Singapore, which I blame Jay on, and the Netherlands. Where can we find you? What are what's your social media handles?
So Instagram is Blaze Online New Jersey, right? And then Facebook is just Blaze Online. You can it's Blaze Online New Jersey as well for like the actual the link, but you should find us under Blaze Online. And then right now, like, we have a YouTube, but it's not set up yet. So we're working on that because we're recording things. We plan to record more things. But right now, I think it's just the Facebook and the Instagram that we are committed to. And then, of course, the website, which is blazeonlinenj.com.
Fantastic. And do you guys? When's your next event? Your next live event? Do you guys have a date for that?
We decided still. We're waiting for everything to kind of get to us, so that way we can have all the products to showcase.
Oh, fantastic.
Hopefully within the next week.
All right, cool.
I'll say probably a good chance for next weekend.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Jay, who did the final thought last time?
You did.
All right, so it's your turn, my man.
All right, let's hope my fucking internet goddamn holds up for this shit. Jesus Christ. I don't think I've ever had this many problems at once. There is actually a thunderstorm going on, though. I'm really happy. I haven't had a fucking thunderstorm in my life in 2 years. Literally 2 years. So I can hear thunder going off outside. Yeah, really. I'm really excited. You'd be surprised. Colorado, in southern Colorado, where I live in Pueblo, it's actually high desert. So we get snow in the wintertime, but rain and thunderstorms is pretty infrequent. So yeah, this is nice. What I'm hearing outside is very nice. I'm gonna be going outside as soon as I finish this. So
before you start, I just want to say thank you guys. This is truly I remember when Alex first spoke to me about this, and it wasn't even that long ago, and to see everything kick off the way it is, man, I'm proud of you, man. And Johnny, we've this is probably maybe I think our second or third face-to-face, maybe even our first. I don't even know. I forget things sometimes, but thank you for coming. This was truly a knowledgeable experience, especially for those who listen who don't know about Delta 8. So thank you for coming and having this experience with us and helping me learn about things that even I didn't know about. So thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Jonathan, Jay, thank you guys for having us. It's been awesome.
Really awesome.
You guys are obviously a couple of good dudes, so it's our pleasure. Believe me, the pleasure's all mine, and it's good to mix things up on our podcast. John I'm sure has told you guys, we've been doing this for almost a year, and it's good to mix stuff up because we don't want to get boring any more than anybody else does, right? Back when Joe Rogan was the hot podcast, right? If you watch it lately, it's almost gotten a little stale. And I don't blame Joe Rogan for it being stale. It's not Joe Rogan's fault. It's just it's starting to get stale because he's been doing it for how many fucking years now, and you can only have people on there so many times or multiple times and ask the same questions or do the same thing and have the same like shtick basically. Like it's nice to mix it up a little bit and say like, hey, here's a co-owned, partial veteran-owned cannabis company that's doing something fucking different and doing something for people, and trying to help educate people on, the way of the future basically. Really should have been okay fucking 40 fucking years ago, but well, whatever. This is where I'm going to put my foot in my fucking mouth again, so I'll shut up right now. But here we go.
It is your final thought.
It is my final thought. So yeah. All right. So for all of our servicemen and servicewomen out there, we are leaving Afghanistan. I know there's a lot of you guys out there from our war, that are probably feeling really bittersweet about that, or don't even know how to feel about it. It's okay. And just like I say every week, it's okay to call and ask for help. If you're feeling a little bit funky, pick up the phone, call somebody, call one of your homies, call one of your loved ones, call the suicide hotline if you need to. Please. Okay? Especially if this particular drug has been in use that night. This drug and good decisions do not go together. Okay? So just because you see me on here drinking beer, don't think for fucking even half a second that I'm going to espouse its use when it comes to making good decisions. Okay? Because it's really terrible for that. So if you have had a few too many and you're having bad thoughts go through your head, fucking call somebody. Sleep it off. Okay? Don't make a decision at 3 o'clock in the morning that can't be taken back. Okay? Because I would rather get a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning waking me up than a phone call at 9 o'clock in the morning finding out that one of my homies fucking did something they can't take back. So take care of each other. Have a safe week ahead. It is May, so Memorial Day is fast approaching. We will probably have a special show for Memorial Day here in a couple weeks when that occurs. I hope you all enjoy your week ahead. Work hard, kick some fucking ass out there, and always remember, fucking Jesus hates a pussy, so don't fucking be one.
that was great.
Nice.
I
like it.
I don't know if you want to do something real quick and I guess edit it later, but you talking about Memorial reminded me that we have a Memorial Day sale. So I don't know if you want to do something real quick.
We can put that.
Yeah. Right. So we're having an early bird Memorial Day sale. So it started I think a couple days ago, and it's until the 29th. So everything is at least 15% off right now, and everything except bulk orders, because that's dealing in big amounts. We can't really discount that. So, but everything else on the website that's in stock right now is at least 15% off, and we do free shipping. I think it's above $50. So get on that, save big, and be happy, and stay pleasantly blazed.
Lost in love and it's infectious. Rubbing dirt into the wound. Got it bad, might not get better.
Throughout my teens, like I did here and there, I didn't get a taste for beer until I was 19 because I fucking smoked weed. Alcohol never held a candle to weed.